Hey drummers, how's it going? It's Alex bringing you some more fun-free drumming ideas. I thought today we'd look at a drum fill using Sextuplets. We're going to use some flams, some kicks. We're not going to stick to the standard right, left, right, left, right, left sticking. We're going to start spraying it all around the kit using those toms, using some crashes. It's going to sound epic, and the fill itself is a bit of a beast. So sit back, enjoy it, and I'll try and explain it so that you understand it. Here we go. Right, so what I'll do is I'll play the pattern for you, I'll show you a couple of little variations and then I'll break it down and then show it to you note for note. So I'll just use a couple of examples backed up by a fairly simple groove and then the explanation will follow. So here we go. How long I was playing each one of those fills for, but you get the idea. So it's, like I said, it's a Sextuplet pattern. It's there's actually two variations really, so I'll just give you a couple of ideas with each one and then you can just sort of mix and match and come up with your own ideas and your own sort of voicings for it in your own orchestrations, if you see what I mean. Okay, so I'll break down the first one I was going to do, which goes flam. Okay, so for those who don't know what a flam is where you basically play both your hands together, but you're just going to make one hand just make contact with the snare drum or whatever tom you're using ever so slightly before. So you're not playing them at exactly the same time, you just get this. You can just hear the separation. I'm exaggerating a bit. Right, that's the flam, we won't spend too much time on that. So I'm doing one of those, followed by a kick, and then I'm going to go right, left, right, kick. Okay, and that should be 6 notes. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just like that. A really good way of just getting used to that, I found, was if you do obviously the flam on the snare drum, the kick on the kick drum, because that's not going anywhere, your options are quite limited. But then you play the single stroke rolls, the right, left, right, on the tom. So obviously your right hand will be down by your floor tom, your left hand will be up by your high tom. But you can choose, I'm just using these because that's all I've got. So here we go, this is what it's going to sound like then. It's going to be like it sounds quite cool just doing that. You can use that on its own as a fill. Another idea is, instead of doing a flam, hit a snare and a crash at the same time, because that's quite effective. You'll definitely hear it. So that will sound like this. Okay, so what you heard there was the both hands together, mixing that in with the first one I showed you, so you do flam on the snare, then on the first round, and on the second round you hit the snare and the crash at the same time. I'll play that one more time, so you've got... That's a really cool fun little idea. Again, you can start moving this pattern around the toms, so you can keep your left hand on the snare. That sounds like this. Playing the flam between here. Again, if I bring that crash in, you get this kind of effect which makes it sound like you've got a double bass drum pedal, which is never a bad thing. Okay, if you get other drummers asking, have you got a double pedal? No. Haha. but that's there, so we won't worry about that too much. Okay, another thing we're going to look at is what we can do as well is instead of playing flat kick, right, left, right kick, we can just keep the we can just use our left hand instead to get this flat, left, right, left, right. Sounds really good, especially if you keep your left hand on the snare. I'll play the same thing and just move my right hand over to the floor tom. Especially when you hear that little double snare. It's quite tricky at first, so you've got to practice. It's good for building strength in that left hand. So you can treat it as a bit of an exercise as well. Okay, and then all I was doing really at the beginning was just using little combinations and mixing those ideas up together. So you could sort of start off by playing what I just showed you. And you can, like I said, just move your left hand around the toms. It actually sounds quite cool if you get like a little pattern going where your right hand's hitting the crash at the same time as the when you're doing the flam, and then your left hand ventures up to the hi-hat and you sort of get this little upbeat tempo going on. So that's going to sound like... turns between moving up to the high tom and then moving over to the hi-hat, which I quite like. Again, so it's completely up to you what you want to do with it. I know Abe Cunningham's used it quite a few times in Deftones with some. He does this feel quite a lot. So it's even if you just learn to play it once, you can actually chuck it in with some other ideas. But just for the sake of today, we're just literally sticking to those two little groups of 6 and then just mixing them up. So I'll play it one more time for you, a few times round, and just show you some ideas, and then we'll call it a day. So here we go. Actually, that brings me to one more point. When you're coming out of this fill, you've got a couple of options really. Obviously, if you're sticking to that sort of sextuplet pattern, what I like to do is either do 3 of the groups, so we've got, and then finish with that flam on beat 4, and then that gives us that whole beat's worth of space to then pop back into our beat. So that'll sound like this. And then we can chuck it a little over the hi-hat. Another one is you could just play, obviously just play 4 in a row to get. And then what you're going to have to do then, obviously you've got the bass drum is beat 6 of our sextuplet, and then also you're going to have to, come back and hit it for beat 1 of the next bar. So you're going to have to get that double ba-boom just at the end, so you get this. So that's another way you can end it. Or you can finish with some nice, sort of just keep the sextuplets on your hand, so you get this. Like that. So that's just little ideas of how you want to get back into your beat. And of course, like little groups of 16ths, you want to use them in blocks of 4, but then you can mix up your rhythms, so you can use some straight 16ths and then move off into your sextuplet patterns and stuff like that. So anyway, I'll just show you a couple more ideas and then we'll finish there, like we should have done a minute ago. I hope you have some fun with that one, guys. It's relatively simple. It gets quite exciting sounding when you start speeding things up a little bit. If you want a copy of the notation, then what I suggest you do is go to www onlinedrummer.com, and on there you'll find some more of my videos, and you'll also get all the PDF files. I mean, if you're already watching from Online Drummer, well done, you're already there. Click on the tab below to get the PDF file. You can take that away for free, which is a brilliant service. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube and you've enjoyed what you've liked, smack that like button, that's always brilliant. And I'm trying to push the subscribers up. I'm nearly at 300 now, so if we could just, if you watched this, enjoyed this, and you want to see more, click subscribe or head over to onlinedrummer.com. I'll put a little link at the bottom for anyone that wants those PDF files. And feel free to leave comments or ask any questions. I'm more than happy to help. Okay, so yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you very soon. Okay, cheers guys.